do the maps of healthcare policy discussion and energy discussion, again with these long lists of semantic markers, we get two different networks that have some similar characteristics. The main thing that we notice right away is the dominance of the political clusters, the obviously political clusters in the healthcare debate, and how much other stuff is in the map on the energy debate. So over half of the blogs are identifiably politicized blogs for healthcare, and far fewer in the energy discussion. So let's take a look at healthcare policy. So we see the dominant clusters in here are the different kinds of political clusters, and we find Beltway conservatives, these are the inside the Beltway policy wonks, religious conservatives active on the issue, and the grassroots conservatives. On the liberal side, kind of a mirror, the Beltway liberals, the what we're calling the political liberals, which I'd ask Ken to explain to you, and the grassroots liberals. And then additionally, you find distinct clusters of economics bloggers and medical science bloggers. So these are, however, political bloggers and then some kind of very specialized bloggers, medicine, science, economics. We're not seeing a lot of what we see in the other network, which we'll get to in just a sec. We also find other folks here, law bloggers, infotech, and this is kind of interesting, a group around health and wellness. These are bloggers who are kind of socially distributed in different parts of the map, but these are bloggers who don't congeal into a coherent cluster, but nonetheless are very attentive to sources of information about health and wellness. So the energy policy map is really different, and the main thing, well, to notice the relative smallness of the political clusters is still important. But there are a lot of things in here that are not kind of specialty research or profession or practice networks. There are a lot more consumers, a lot more bloggers representing just regular folks out there, lifestyle bloggers, etc. So we see culture bloggers, which are more around cultural products. Environmental bloggers are one of the most important out here. These are your kind of green environmentalists. We find infotech and economics as well. We also find a lot of sort of popular culture and consumer blogs out here, which we do not find in the other network, as well as a cluster around green technology. And we also find our good friends, the climate cynics. These are the people that don't think the Earth is getting warmer, and if it is, it's not our fault. So essentially what's kind of going on in this energy policy network is that it's really a lot more folks outside of the political chattering class are talking about energy policy, talking about energy, and there are other constituencies which are not principally political, like the environmentalists, who tend to skew left but are not, by and large, active liberal political bloggers, are out there carrying on this discussion. And you do not find that so much in the medical discussion around healthcare policy. It is just hyper-politicized and has some specialty involvement, specialty bloggers. But if you go through some of the kinds of analysis of the words that we do, we'll see that in a second, you end up finding that by and large the general public, they care a lot about health. They care a lot about wellness, but they care about it as in, well, when are they going to cure cancer? Or what do I do if my kid has autism? Or all these very personal disease-oriented kind of discussions, they don't really care that much or have that much to say about the policy discussion that's going on now. They're not really, it's not rooted somewhere. One of the things we're really concerned with these maps is not just the pretty pictures, but how does the blogosphere function as a kind of collective lens for focusing attention onto other sorts of things. So where do these clusters of bloggers routinely go back and cite? What sources do they cite? And how is this organized in the larger space? So here's a kind of map we like to draw called, we call these valence diagrams. And sorry, I don't have these all labeled yet. But basically, left-right is political left, political right. So what we're looking at, every dot here is something that bloggers link to. These are the top 4,000 things for each of these maps that are linked to. And its position left or right is the proportion of liberal versus conservative bloggers that link to it. So how much does preference for this site skew left or skew right? And then the up-down is towards the top means that it is the proportion of political bloggers of either stripe that are linking to it. So how politicized is attention to this website? And what you get in the upper left and right are those websites that are of intense interest to one echo chamber or the other. And what you get in the lower part are websites that are of interest to just the general public, not so much to political bloggers. And you can see the way in which the attention that these two discussion, the blogosphere around these two issues is spinning attention back out onto other things on the internet. In the one case of healthcare policy, in a much more politicized way, with energy policy to a lot more stuff which is not really politicized information, but to other websites that are not particularly political in nature.